Jam, everybody. All right. Give people a couple more minutes to flow in. But I guess let's start things off with an icebreaker about this. So, what grant opportunity are you excited about? If you don't know one, what type of grant would you be interested in? Anybody want to pick that one up to start things off?
Yes, I can be this one. I will talk about the one who is more. I think the deadline is 20 November 23. I think it's Accent Community Fund. So we are thinking about applying with Greenpill Brazil for the marketing category. This is one that is not like what excites me, but is the most closest one we have, maybe. So I will start with that.
Let me hop in here. Sorry, guys, I've been getting situated. You actually stole mine, Coy. I was going to say that. But what else is there? I think I'm excited about, I guess, continuing the Octant vein, this upcoming epoch. Excited to see more Greenpill projects potentially get into the epoch. So, yeah, that would be my choice for what grant opportunity I'm excited about. Yeah, I'll pass it to... let's go, Yasil.
I'm thinking of creating a new grant, Road to Denver, for me.
I love it.
Yeah, because I lost a lot of my money on DEFCON, and I create new wallet. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Nice. You want to pass it to somebody?
Yeah, let's pass to Ivan.
GM, good morning, guys. I'm excited about the CeeLo grants, the Presenti CeeLo grants that just I think ended last weekend. We applied for one of the projects we're working on, and I'm excited about CeeLo as kind of a home base for regen type impact Web3 projects. So, and I found out about that grant through the Karma Gap Telegram group. So thanks for that, guys. I'll pass to Amio.
Okay, GM. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, good.
Okay. So the grant that we have been looking forward to is the Octant Community Round. So we're supposed to apply with it through Greenpill Nigeria, through Easy. So, but I don't know if he applied it already, or I don't know the state of it, but I will have to contact James to know the state of the grant.
You want to pass it to somebody?
I want to pass it to Ifani.
GM everyone. A grant I'm excited for is the Epoch 6. I saw amazing projects there for the 5. So I'm looking forward to seeing more projects and hopefully new faces. 5 boosted new faces, I heard. So that's basically what I'm just looking forward to. And the spaces where we get to hear from all of them. So I would be passing the mic to Anastasia if she hasn't spoken.
GM, good to see you all here. Well, about grants, I don't know if I can say I'm excited anymore after some rejections in the DApp round when I realized that only the transactions matter, but the actual value, like the real value in the real world of this transaction, don't matter. So I'm not excited so much about these grants, but as the Cosynthesis 6, of course, we're looking forward for Epoch 6. It will be our third epoch, and the previous one kind of was quite successful. We had over 30 donors, which is quite a lot for public goods projects of our kind presented there. Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna join the grant for the Ethereum Denver with ESL because I've got the ticket, but I have no idea what to do with the visa and the flight and everything. Community. And yeah, Decline is going to enter Supra ecosystem That's the alpha rumors for now. So hopefully we'll get the funding from these people ecosystem. Waiting for new quadratic rounds on GiveUp, but I heard that they're gonna happen not earlier than in January. So that's the grants updates. And I don't know who have spoken or who didn't.
Yeah, we could go with there's a few more people and then we'll get started. Yeah, anybody else want to share any grant opportunities that they're excited about?
Hey guys, how we doing here? We just applied to the Presenti grant as well on Cello for a concept called Ultra Green Trees. Cello's base transaction offsets the carbon footprint, and they have that project. It's called Ultra Green Money, and so we applied for a play on that called Ultra Green Trees, which would effectively help plant trees using the base transaction fees, which this is also a play on ultrasound money from Ethereum, right? So yeah, we're excited about that. And generally speaking, excited about the opportunity to automate tree data, tree planting data and tree stewardship data into the Karma Gap platform. Also the relationship between maybe Karma Gap and HyperCerts. This has been floated around by many people. Yeah, in fact, Antonio in this call here has made mention of this, I believe almost like 4 or 5 months ago. I don't know, Antonio, if you want to jump in and share your thoughts, but yeah, good to be here, guys.
Yes, awesome to have you.
If I can just jump in, the grant that I'm looking for is the Refi and Arbitrum round 2, the one that got away.
That's a great shot. Ko, you got your hand raised.
My phone was not working. I'm excited for Hand Protocol and Octant this round. We're going to apply very, very soon. Community round. So it would be our first Octant collaboration.
Awesome. I think definitely a lot of Octant love, sentiment, community rounds, upcoming epochs. So yeah, great to hear that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So many of you guys would have seen like you know, the overview of this workshop, and hopefully got the workshop guide this morning. But yeah, basically just here to learn more about Karma Gap, do some activities that will help with using Karma Gap. And yeah, we're fortunate to have Mahesh here, who's the founder of Karma Gap, to walk us through the platform, you know, answer any questions the community might have. And yeah, so let's get started. Mahesh, toss it over to you. And yeah.
Hey, thanks for like super excited to share Karma with everyone here, and happy to answer any questions. I have a slide deck. I'll spend the first 10 minutes just going through the deck, just to set the context. And then I want to spend more time actually walking through the application and the product and answering questions. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. All right. Do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Mahesh Murthy. I'm the founder of Karma. I'm going to be talking about Karma Gap. It is a grantee accountability and reputation protocol. So just to set the context of why we built this, or what problems are we trying to solve here, right? So as you all know, there's like many organizations in Web3 ecosystem are deploying millions of dollars. I think it's in the billions at this point. And the big $1 million question is it really working? Now, from a grant operator point of view, they have to evaluate all these like hundreds of applications coming in. People have been using like ChatGPT and things lately, and just randomly putting in applications. And then they have to go through all those applications, evaluate them, look at it, and then approve these applications. And then they have to keep track of like what these grantees are doing with the money, and how do you keep track of all these projects they're funding, and then how do you measure the impact? Like, okay, we deployed all this money, and then what came out of it, right? So grant operators have this big problem. And then builders, like a lot of you guys around here, how do you showcase your work? And then how do you prove that you have actually done your work, and then you should continue to receive funding? Or even before you get any kind of funding, how do you show your work? If you're a developer, maybe there's like GitHub activity is something which you can show, but there are a lot of other types of work which is kind of difficult to show and prove your work, right? So these are the problems which we are trying to solve with GAP. For grantees and project owners, we want to make it really easy for them to like showcase their work, share their roadmaps, share their milestones, accomplishments, get endorsements and build up like a reputation, and put all of this on chain. So even if karma goes away at one point, like you don't have to worry about it. Like it's all on chain, and our code is open source, data is all on chain, everything is public, right? We're building this as a public good. So from a grantee point of view, we want Karma Gap to be like your on-chain project resume. And then for grant operators, if anyone here, you can like look at all the past grants and accomplishments of the projects when you are evaluating these applications. And then as their grantees are completing their milestones, you can like automatically evaluate them. We have a lot of AI tooling now. We also are spending a lot of our resources on helping grant operators and program managers measure impact in your communities and how your fund is being allocated. So overall, like that's the problem we are like trying to solve from the both grant operators and the grantee like point of view. So from like the solution point of view, like we just want you to like just keep building, right? So that's on your side. And then we have a number of communities which who are using our product. We've been thankful, and we continue to add more communities. We're onboarding more communities. And just traction-wise, we have around 3,300 projects today. And we are tracking around 3,500 projects across many communities. There's like refi projects. There's like the climate coordination network, like they fund a lot of climate projects. We have so many of them. We have open source, digital public goods, all kinds of projects are like people use these for, use GAP for tracking their projects. So that is at a very, very high level. I wanted to just share like the context. The next thing I wanted to do was, before I go into our product and like show all the features we have and how best you can utilize, I wanted to just introduce some concepts of like how Karma Gap works. So at the core of it is your project. You are a builder. You have a project profile on Karma, and that project is where you clearly explain like what your problem you're trying to solve, what is your solution, what's your mission. Very briefly, anyone can go to your project page and within like 30 seconds should be able to understand what your project does, right? And then all the relevant links and your social, everything. So that's the heart of the GAP system. Now, a project, once you have that, there are a few things you can do for your project. You can publish roadmap. Anyone coming and finding your project on GAP can say like, oh, what is this project? What do they have going? Like, what's their roadmap looks like, right? So you can share all your roadmap there. And then you can post updates on the project. So regardless of you've received a grant or not, you can say, this is a good way to like post updates on your project so that people know like, okay, this is not some project someone started and it's dead, right? Like you're sharing your updates. There are a lot of things you can share. Like if you're a dev, you can share your GitHub repositories. Someone can go look at your commits and things. But if someone wants to like take 20 seconds to just see how active this project is, like sharing some like important updates like goes a long way. In the future, like when you're applying for a grant, your grant operator can just come in and look at all the history and say like, okay, this project has been active for a while. They've been like actually putting in the work, right? So you can post updates. And then endorsements. This is something which we have been spending more time on, where there are hundreds and hundreds of projects. how do you stand out? And if whoever is looking at it, how do they trust your project, right? So if they see someone endorsing your project who is in their circle, right, trusted network, then you will get like a lot more credibility. Like, oh, this person I know has endorsed this project, so this project must be like legit, right? And not some scam project or someone who's just going to take the money and run away. So these are like the very high level, like what you can do to your project. And then then the next concept is, so you have your project, you can do all these things to a project, and then there's grants. Every time you receive a grant, depending on the platform where you receive a grant, most of the times we automatically sync grants to a project. So you have received an Octant grant, we automatically link that Octant grant to a project. You're a participant in a climate coordination network or a Greenpill community round on Gitcoin, let's say. So like we have integrations with Gitcoin, we have integrations with Octant. So all of those grants will automatically get synced. So anyone can come to your project and they can see all the grants you have received. So that's the concept of grants and linked to a project. And then a grant, for a grant, just like for a project, you can post a grant update saying, oh, okay, I received this grant. These are all like some intermediate, like the things which we are doing, and you can like post updates for anyone to keep track of how you're using your funds. And then you can, once you receive your grant, you can even publish milestones, like these are the things I'm going to accomplish. And when you accomplish, you can post milestone updates on that. And then, and by the way, every single one of this is all on chain. And then you can even like verify your milestones. Anyone can go and verify your milestones, or a grant operator can go verify your milestones, or we're building like AI tools which will automatically verify your milestone accomplishments. So that's the concept of the grants. And all the grants, another concept is a grant program. A grant program is a Gitcoin round or an Octant epoch or a Presenti. It's a grant program which gives out like multiple grants to projects. That's the grant program. And then these grant programs are run by a community. So for example, like Octant is a community which runs epoch 1, 2, 3. So this is how it's structured in our system. So a community runs grant programs, and grant programs gives out grants. And these grants are all linked to your project. So if you put these things together, you get this. So you have a project where you can post all these updates. All your grants are linked to your project. All your milestones are linked to your grant. And the grant belongs to a grant program, which belongs to a community. So our whole idea is, if we kind of like map this out, every project becomes like so rich with information. You can just simply like, lately, like people have been just using these, like their project profile as like, wherever they apply for a grant, they simply post a link to their Karma profile. And the grant operator and whoever is evaluating their application can simply go look at everything around this, right? So all the resources and energy you invest in keeping these updates and putting these things in together, like goes a long way when you're like applying for funding, whether it be grants, or if you want to like go raise some money from an angel investor, or you want to get a like an under collateralized loan, or there's a lot of funding experiments happening. So the latest one is like a prediction market, right? So some I don't know if anyone has seen, there's a prediction market which Filecoin is running, where you can bet on projects. And for people to bet on projects, they need to understand what the project is and what they have accomplished. So you can simply like use your Karma profile to share all this information. So this is the core idea behind GAP and what it does. So before I go share like the product itself, I wanted to just pause and see if anyone has any questions so far.
First off, that was great already to say. Like the diagrams always helps to visualize things. Yeah, I have some questions, but let's see. Does anybody else have any before?
Looks like Antonio has a question.
Go for it, Antonio.
Hey, thank you for the presentation. Just a question about for some of these, because a lot of the grants, maybe some of the money is used for, I'll give you an example. So for example, if we get a grant from Cello and we get a grant from a Gitcoin round and we make a grant update, but the update is actually useful for both of those grants. Is there a way to do like grant updates for multiple grants?
Yeah, so which is it's a good question. It's a very common question we get, because a lot of times you get only like a little bit of funding from each of them, and it's kind of hard to do the work for that specific grant, and all the fund just goes to one pool and you're working on it, which is why the project update is what, like, we introduced project updates specifically for that reason. So you just post on the project, like anyone can simply go look at your project updates, where we pull in all your grant updates and project updates into one feed. So that's like the place you can point anyone to.
And just to follow up, if I make the project update, will I have to make another grant update, or will that carry over?
No, you don't have to make another grant update. Everything gets, like, we have this one feed where all of the grant updates and project updates can like just see based on the timestamp. You can see it in one place.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, and I'll show you once I'm like walking through the product as well.
I had a question around the team functionality, or yeah, kind of those addresses that say that they're part of the team. What, or if any, permissions do those addresses have if you're part of the team, and how can we add more people to the team?
Yeah, that's another like very frequently asked question. Today the team is like, no one else has any permissions. We do have, the code is complete for adding as many team members as you want and giving them access. So it's not just one project, or like there's one project owner, but there's everyone will be able to like post updates. There's like one last thing we are trying to like sort out, and then we will ship that feature. That was one of the most requested feature we have received like for the last 3 or 4 months. It's technically a hard problem, so there's a lot of like contract work we had to do, like a lot of permissioning thing we had to build, but I think we are almost there. It's code complete. We're just testing. So
yeah, no, I totally understand. Roles and permissions could get very tricky, and
yeah, it's so yeah, that's it's coming soon.
Okay, awesome. Good to hear. Thanks.
Okay, and there are no questions. I can switch over to my other screen. So let me start from here. Just like the hierarchy which I walked you all through. This is, for example, one of the community pages. So if you go here, this is the Gitcoin page. You can see every round which was run. All of these are here, and you can filter by each program and see which were all the projects which were funded. And then if you actually run a round on Gitcoin, another benefit is you can simply subscribe to, as a funder, you can simply subscribe to all the projects which you have funded. So you can either go to each project, and then you can go and subscribe to updates. So we send a monthly updates. Whenever like you post updates on your project, we roll up all of those and then send an email to whoever has whoever has subscribed. So this is a great way as a funder to like stay up to date. Or instead of subscribing to each project, if you're on Gitcoin, for example, you can just put in your wallet address and you can just bulk subscribe to all the projects you have funded. So So this is the community page, which I was like talking about, all the projects which you can see here. And then if we go into any project, let's just take, actually, this is a Greenpill dev project is actually pretty well done. Shout out to Afo, I think. I'm guessing you're the one who filled out all these details. So
Yeah, thanks.
the goal is like within like, right, you should be able to go here and then look at everything about this project. What's their, like a brief description, what's their mission, the problem they're trying to solve.
Are you showing a different tab, Mahesh?
Oh, oops.
Okay.
Sorry, thank you. So yeah, this is a Greenpill Dev Guild project where you can see all their description, mission, problem, solution. Within like 30 seconds, you get like complete information on like what this project is all about. And this is one of like the projects which have done a really good job of like getting endorsements. This is so much valuable. Like I cannot like stress enough like how valuable this is when you apply for funding. Like if a grant operator knows someone here who have like kind of endorsed, it adds so much weight to your application, right? So I would take the time to actually like invest in like getting good endorsements. And we have a lot of these features like anyone who comes to your project can like request an intro, endorse the project. We even have integration with Farcaster where this is like your project becomes like a Farcaster frame. Like simply share your link on Farcaster and it's just a Farcaster frame, right? And then this is another one which I was showing where you can actually like add roadmap items. Anyone can see what else you have on your project. What are you building towards, right? And then this is the heart of the of Karma Gap system, I would say, which is like the most favorite feature for all the grant operators, like project owners. And this is the like your resume. So every single grant you have received, it's all here. We automatically sync grants from with anything which is run on Gitcoin. So we automatically sync those. Octant, we automatically sync. We are integrating with many more systems. So as a grantee, you just have to do like minimum work, right? Like all of these will automatically do, and you simply have to go and fill in the details. So for every grant, you can see you have these, for every grant, you have like milestones you can post. And here are the milestones. Here is the milestone updates with clear proof of your work. We can see all the pending updates. We even have like impact criteria is something which we automatically pull from other systems where you have filled in details like how we are like creating impact. So those are all the things we have on the grant side. We even have like project impact. This is something which a lot of like refi projects use, wherein they come in and say, okay, I created impact. What is the work you did? What kind of impact you had, and how do you like prove it, right? Our goal is to eventually kind of do integration with hypercerts, maybe. So wherein you document all the impact, there's proof, and then you can simply click a button to like generate an hypercert, which just then you can like. I believe there was already a workshop on hypercert and the benefits of it. So that was the core. That was the idea we have been like exploring with the hypercerts here. So that's one. And then so another thing which here is the project updates. I think someone like had a question about this. What we are doing here is this is like a feed of all your updates. So you can see here, if you made an update on Octant Epoch 5, it all gets pulled into this one feed. So instead of someone going into like all the active grants you have and like looking at those updates, they can simply come here and like look at all the updates in one place. So that solves one problem. So someone is posting, like you're posting your updates on each individual grant, you get this here, or you can simply post a project update right here, which also goes in here. So if you have if you're making some progress and it's been funded by 2 or 3 grants, instead of like going and duplicating it there, you could simply go and post an update here as a project update. And this is the place where any funder goes and looks at all the details, because most people, unless you got a big grant where they go in and look at that individual grant's milestone, any other funder usually just goes here and looks at this feed. So as long as this feed is current, like with a project update and aggregation of these, I think you're like good. Like, so at least that's what we have noticed people doing. So
Can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
So you're integrating with other grant platforms, and I'm guessing you're building that integration. My question is, like, if I'm running a separate DAO platform, kind of like Charmverse, but different, can I API in and push updates from a DAO platform to yours, or vice versa? Can I get these updates, API them over to my DAO platform?
Yeah, we have APIs, so you can let's see. It's we have the link to the API docs, so you can read all of this data and show this information in your platform, or you can also use our SDK and push data to here. So there is APIs for both read and writes. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, and many platforms have actually done it. There is Octant, for example, right? Octant, Gitcoin, they all are pulling data from here. So if you go into Octant app, there is now a milestone and updates tab. And in Gitcoin, in your individual project, there is a new tab where all this information is pulled. So they all have read, but we have SDKs for writes as well. So yes, both are possible. Thought someone had a question.
Oh, I was just gonna bring up the Octant, how they pull in the data, but yeah, you brought it up.
Cool. I think there's Swift had a question where I can check if there is any subscription of my project. It's a good question. Maybe we should expose it. We don't expose it to the project owner today, saying who all have subscribed, but we should be able to do it. Maybe we'll add that feature. So any project owner can simply go here and just see like a new tab, like a subscriptions or something, where they can see all the people who have subscribed to their project. That's a good one. We can we just simply have to expose it to that project. So we'll do it. And then another thing which we also do is if you have created milestones, we send notifications saying, hey, your milestone is due in like 2 days or 4 days or a week, or if you haven't posted an update in like 2 weeks or a month, we send a gentle reminder. So we have all that whole reminder system, like which is working pretty well, which is really good for like Greenpill chapter leads, for example, if you want to create your own community and run these things, if you're funding. So it's good. It takes a lot of things off your hand, like everything is automated. Yeah. Yes, so I think you had a question.
Yeah. So can you click on forecaster link and how should it work?
Sorry, click where?
Forecaster link. Yeah. Can you click on it and how should it work?
Sorry, which link are you asking?
Forecaster link.
Oh, the forecaster link. So the forecaster link is it's basically, it just copies this link. Your project profile link is your link. So there's no special link. So for example, this is the Greenpill Dev Guild. If you post this on, if you simply share this whole link on Forecaster, it renders it as a frame where people can actually like go kind of like work, like play with the frame itself.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't really like promoted it a lot. I know there's a Farcaster like a frame version 2 is coming, so we might like make some changes. Like we'll keep it updated. But the core idea was you share your this project profile link on Farcaster. People can fund your project right from there. So that was like one of the features we thought it was kind of cool, is like share your link on Farcaster, and people, if someone likes your project, they can literally like fund from their wallet right there and say like, oh, I want to like fund this project. So,
Yeah, that's a nice feature. I think with that one, because I remember when I clicked it, I was like, oh, it's just copying the URL. I wasn't too sure. Like, okay, I was like, okay. But I guess now that I understand how it fully works, I think if maybe you could add like this little note to like highlight, because that's really a powerful feature, I think, for people to use it.
Yeah, I'll make a note of that. So I will I think I'll work with our designer to like kind of make it more intuitive. But yeah.
Nice.
And if anyone has like ideas of like what they want on Farcaster, for example, today we have added a way for you to like anyone to like fund right from the feed in Farcaster from a frame. But if there are other features and things, if you were like, if anyone interested, like we would love to add. I think I see one more hand raised. Kaza?
Yeah, so apologies if this has already been covered. I missed the first bit of the presentation. Do you have any plans for a recommendation engine for grants that are coming up that you might be eligible for?
Yeah, so if you see right here, get funding, we have a funding map, which is, so I'll share it again here, which has like, we maintain a pretty like, it's pretty like a registry on chain of all the funding opportunities. And anyone can contribute to it. You can just submit a program if you don't see it. What we also want to do is, we took a first stab at this, was automatically recommend grant opportunities based on your project and updates. So we built an MVP. To be honest, like it did not work well for everyone because a lot of people like hadn't posted enough updates. We want to take another stab at it because now we have like a lot of people like kind of regularly posting updates. So we might bring it back and kind of auto recommend, saying based on your project profile, I think you should apply to this. So we have all the pieces there. So it's coming in the next month or so.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what I was asking. That's great. One way that I've been thinking about doing it would be like the Tinder type swipe left, swipe right.
Oh.
So recommend in order to get the most relevant ones first that you think are relevant. But ultimately, it's my decision if they're relevant, right? So I swipe left or swipe right, whether or not I think that your recommendation is correct or not. And the ones I swipe right on, or add to my portfolio somehow, they become then the ones that I need to be recommended to apply to or whatever.
That is actually a really good idea. So I'll make a note of that. Thanks. Thank you. And another thing which we have been like, maybe you guys can give us feedback, is one of the challenges is when you're submitting these applications to these platforms, most of the questions are the same. What does your project do? Like, what have you accomplished? Like, how do you make an impact, right? If Karma Gap is your resume with all that information, you should be able to just pull that information and like submit your application within like a few minutes, right? Instead of like spending hours on it. So people have talked about this common app where every platform uses this one application where you submit these your grant application, but that is like an uphill battle. So I was thinking we should probably build some AI tool where we have already feeding all your data to it. So you just go to any application, whether it be Charmverse or Gitcoin, GrantStack, anywhere, and it'll automatically read the question. It'll automatically get the answer based on your profile and just fills it, which should hopefully save a lot of time. But we just don't know if it is a problem worth solving or if it is really a problem for applicants.
That's very interesting, actually. Because we actually have a conversation tomorrow with Rocket Man from the Verbs and Nouns community, and he's been building a tool called Flows, which is basically like an AI assister for like assisting in the grant process, like for nouns applications, nouns grants. So yeah, I think the same way you just said. Now I feel like I feel like AI is going to become more involved in helping to streamline these processes and just make it easier for people to apply to multiple grants and tweak your application, because there's just little variance in across applications and stuff like that. So
yeah, so we're like just trying to we are investing heavily in a lot of these LLM tools, and in fact a lot of all of this data is already kind of we have generated embeddings for these, if anyone is kind of have played around with some of these LLM tools. So we are investing heavily in that on that front to make it really easy. Our goal is to make it as easy as possible for people to get funding, right? So anything we can do, we'll build.
nice.
Let's see. I think, let's see what else. And then we recently launched our project explorer page. This is still in the works, but we have every project on Gap is listed here. We want to make this like an explorer page where people can discover new projects. Anyone is looking for I'm looking for such and such project, or such and such help, right? They can find these projects here. We are also adding ways for you to, if you need help, let's say you received some funding, but you need help with marketing, or you want help with some dev work. So you can tap into our network and find those people. Or if you are offering some kind of expertise, we want to make it easy for you to offer that. So we are kind of expanding this project page and making it more useful for our community. So that's another thing which we are working on. Yeah, Antonio.
I just wanted to say I really appreciate the Bloom Network integration. That's made my life a lot easier.
I'm very glad. So so for anyone, so we have an integration with Bloom Network where they collect a lot of these impact data on their platform, and they basically post to us, and all of that information basically goes here. All your impact information gets recorded on chain. Your project gets automatically created, and all the impact data just gets recorded here. So which will hopefully help these projects who have no idea about blockchains, right? They automatically are building their on-chain presence. So I'm so glad to hear. Thank you for sharing that.
Is there any chance, because as more of this impact starts to reach the ground and a lot of this community ecosystem-based work starts to happen, have you looked at, because I know I just saw Atlantis DAO is starting to do impact certs. Have you thought about doing an integration with them as well?
I have not. Maybe I'll reach out to them.
I think they're using Solana mostly, so maybe it might be a little difficult.
Yeah, but regardless, I'll reach out and see if there is a way to integrate. Yeah, it's always who really wants it. If grantees are hey, we're putting a lot of the information there, can you pull it over? We would be happy to do it. So I'll reach out to them.
Looks like Sativa has a question in the chat.
More about how the grant host verify the milestone of the grantee. Yes. So, yeah, that's a good question. So let's go to one of the. So this is the admin page. So this is Climate Coordination Network admin page. So you can go to milestones, for example, and here you can see all of the projects which you have funded, and you can filter by the grant program. And let's say we go here, and then you can see all the, in this GG20 climate round, these are all the projects which were funded. You can see each project, how many milestones have they created, how many have they completed. And then we have this AI evaluation. It's still in beta, but like it looks at your milestone, it looks at your completion data, and then it looks at the milestone, looks at the data, and then kind of evaluates. It looks at the proof which you have shared, and then based on that, it gives you a rating, like how good a milestone update it is, right? So this is, we released this like very recently. Maybe we should go into DeSci on Gitcoin and see how. So for example, this is the DeSci on Gitcoin. You can see all the rounds here, and then all the projects, their milestones, and the ratings. Here is just like a recommendation of like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't include this project in the next round. This is still in beta, just FYI, but this is how we are kind of like starting this. We have a pretty big roadmap for how we want to kind of evolve this. So if there are any like grant operators who want to like use this and kind of give us feedback, we would love to work with you and improve this. Swift, I don't know if this answers your question. Yeah, cool. I believe you should have access to this already. I think you are an admin.
Yeah, I have the access on that one. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, but this is really like just version 0.1. We want to like do a lot more here. Like I think we can do some really amazing things. In fact, like one of the things which we are doing is we are building this expert network of like evaluators. AI can only do so many things. It cannot do like verify like real world impact, right? So we are building this like this network of people like who can actually, who you can kind of like outsource this work to, or kind of like tap into that network and kind of like get like evaluations done. So if you're like, there's some like someone published a research paper on like some like on a DeSci journal, and like you might not have the expertise, so you could just tap into our network and like kind of get this one. So we are building that network.
It will sounds like a peer review for the, for example, when we jump into research hub, and they will have some bounty token for the peer review, and this is a professional roles that for each ecosystem. For example, I'm not professional in environmental, but however we would need to verify their achievement and milestone, and there should be some expert on that one. And there will be, if there will be an incentive or anything system that related to the peer review about the milestone, and that I would say that would be a very good one as a third-party verification about the grantees, and then the host will have how to say the project will keep on building their reputation on chain through the third-party peer review about their milestone.
Yeah. So we've been working with like a lot of like grant operators or programs, and checking if they're willing to fund these evaluators, right? They don't have the expertise, but if they're willing to like pay these evaluators or peer reviewers, then that this network will actually grow and like take off. That's the incentive, right? So
the big challenge is going to be on not paying for good evaluations, right? You want to pay for fair and real evaluations. So you got to have a self-correcting system. So if someone gives a false review, like a fake positive for what should have been negative, or a fake negative that should have been positive, you want to self-correct that somehow. So that it's got to be a review of the reviewer as well in some way.
Yeah, so there will be a reputation system for the reviewers, and the way we are thinking about it is we will like hand curate the trusted reviewers to start with, and then they can start endorsing other reviewers and kind of build the pool. That's one way, and then any milestone evaluation or anything can be like done by like 2 people, so it kind of reduces the thing a little bit. But then just having an on-chain reputation for the evaluators itself kind of adds, I think, like, which will kind of at least keep them from like completely like faking it, right? Because the reputation like is on chain, and you don't want to like mess with that this one. So
right, or maybe pay for reviews that are close to the mean of all reviews, so not pay outliers. Excessively positive or excessively negative shouldn't be paid, but more accurate reviews should be paid. You know, there are many ways to skin a cat, obviously.
that's a good point. Yeah, I hadn't considered that. Pay for the mean. But like for us, the hardest thing is like just convincing the programs to say like, hey, like allocate some money to pay these evaluators, right? So I think we have gotten a couple of yeses. So hopefully we'll like start small and then kind of like grow it.
Nice. I have a couple more questions, but I'll park those because I know for time need to move into the mapping activity. So if there's any other further questions, yeah, please share them right now. And yeah.
I believe Gmo had a couple more questions in the chat. I'm not sure if they were fully addressed, but just a heads up.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. Mind expanding on the SDK's documentation for Write? Yeah, so we have, so API docs are all here. So you can, so all the API docs, you can go find it here. This is mostly useful for read-only. It's a simple REST API. You can get communities, you can get projects, grantees, everything you can get from this API. And then we also have a GitHub and with the SDK. So actually, let me see here. So we have docs. It's also in the header for how GAP works and all the details. And then for we have a GitHub repository for the SDK, which is what our front end uses. You can also use the same SDK to write to the platform. So all of those are in the this one, and also feel free to join our Telegram group, and one of our devs can like help answer any questions.
Thank you so much. Yeah, one of my other questions was use cases showing this right, but I think you answered that question with the Bloom network integration. That's a good example. Basically, we're interested in tree metrics, such as trees planted. Not only would we like to report on that for things like Gitcoin, but we have a micro grant campaign that we would like to see that impact translated from our app into the Karma Gap reporting. So I will look more into that documentation. And then last but not least, if you have any use cases where there's good synergy between Karma Gap and HyperCerts, I would be curious. But if not, that's all right.
Yeah, HyperCerts, there's been few discussions with few different programs and organizations how they want to integrate HyperCerts and with Gap. To be honest, like I'm still not there. Like I don't have a clear flow. Like one thing which we have settled on is one of the things today with HyperCerts is, okay, you have your HyperCert. How do you trust that HyperCert, right? That it's the work is actually done and legit, and how do you trust it? That's where Gap can help. So we have been like exploring this option of like Gap is all attestations, right? And then so can you like somehow link this gap, your project profile and your impact to that hypercert? So anyone who looks at your hypercert automatically sees in gap, this is the project, these are all the things they have done, these are all the endorsements, these are all the verifications of those milestones or impact, and then trust it and then go buy that hypercert, for example. But that UX is kind of, I want to really like figure out the whole UX to make it dead simple and then kind of do it. We're not there yet. But if someone wants to like kind of like experiment with it, like we would love to like talk.
Yeah, Mahesh, I'm working on a proposal called Greenpill Impact Framework. Won't get too into the weeds in it, but it's definitely around like how could we leverage attestations and connect them to hypercerts, basically on the impact side, right? Because you have different projects, and a lot of our projects too that we're creating the Dev Guild. We're using attestations as like a core primitive of like capturing that action happening. So the idea would be to like be able to do the actions in application and then have a UI where you could then bundle up all those attestations over a period of time into a hypercert. And I think the idea right now was around just the metadata, but really I think the binding aspect between hypercerts and attestations is the address, right? The contract, or the, you know, if you could represent projects as contracts, smart contracts, and then they could own the hypercerts and then also be the recipient or the attester to different attestations and actions, right?
Yeah. And so by the way, like the whole Karma Gap platform is built on top of EAS attestation. So your project profile is an EAS attestation. Your every single piece of this information, like a grant, a milestone, all of these are like individual attestations linked together to become this one graph, right? So that's how this whole platform is built. So it can kind of individual pieces of these attestations can kind of go off and do other things. Like you can link one of these to a hypercert.
That's so cool.
So that's how we built it. So I think I answered all the questions.
I think so.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, man, that was awesome. Thanks for that walkthrough and the demo. Like I said, I have more questions, but I'll pause on those so we could get into this activity. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Cool. All right. So yeah, we're gonna do a little mapping activity. Very simple. We're just gonna outline grants that you have or you're planning to have upcoming, and then just adding your milestones for them, and then putting some tags. But I first wanted to just level set with just having like a quick conversation about how people capture impact, and just give an example how we're doing it in the Dev Guild. Maybe it's something that people can apply to their own initiatives. So currently in the Dev Guild, we have all our milestones in a Charmverse database, and these are what we map over to Karma Gap. We also have a grants database where this is all linked to. So each milestone is linked to a grant. And then also, I think one of the more important things is the proof. So we have different tags for different types of proof, right? Because when you have a milestone, then you're proving that you completed it. It's like, okay, what's going to be used as a proof? Is it like code? Is it social media posts? Is it like designs, etc.? So that's kind of how we categorize, the different types of milestones and how we're proving them. And then you could also see which projects are related to milestones that are related to projects. But just want to level set there to highlight that I think it's important to make sure you have a place where you're capturing your impact in some structured manner before then like uploading to Karma Gap or any platform like that, especially because it is attestations, right? Certain things you won't be able to change, so you want to make sure you have a place where you could draft it first and then upload. But yeah, any questions on this milestone database before we'll dive into the Miro board?
Can you drop a link to your Charmverse? We're in the process of setting one up for our local DAO, if it's public or available.
Oh yeah, fully public. Matt, you want to So I'll drop a link. Awesome. Any other questions or thoughts? Ooh. All right, so let's hop into this activity. So I'm going to start the activity in the Google Meet as well. So if you're on your desktop or on laptop, when I do start this activity, you should see it pop up. If you're on your phone, you won't be able to join the activity, but you still could join the Miro board if you download the app. So let's do that. So yeah, this is just a milestone mapping activity. Actually, give me a second. Let me log in. Okay, so I just started activity in the Google Meet, which you'll probably see the notification. So you're able to join. I'll also copy a link and share it directly in the chat for anybody that's having issue joining the activity. So yeah, join with that link. See, we got Kit here already. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, so I'll give it some time, give it a couple minutes for people to join. We've done this now a couple of times, so I think more people are getting familiar with Miro, but if you have any issues, just say a few words and we'll help you. If you've used FigJam or any tool like that, it's very similar. So while everybody's joining the activity, we'll just give a brief overview of what we'll be doing. Very simple. So we have example to follow, some of the Dev Guild grants and milestones. But the aim is just to broadly map your grants to milestones and then add different tags for the different types of proof. And if you feel like the tags that are currently existing for the proof are not adequate, you need to add, or missing a tag you would add, feel free to add new tags. But basically how you start, just start by copying this frame. So how you do that is you click the boundary around the white area, and then you could then Command V. So you can just do Command C, Command V. Oh, that's right. Why do we keep deleting itself? Okay. Let's see. Let's see this one. Are you guys seeing that too? When I copy something, it deletes. Maybe because something's in it. I don't know. That's weird. Okay, we'll figure that out. But there's an example to definitely follow above. And yeah, so the idea is just to add a few grants you have completed or in the progress of completed in green sticky notes, and then copy a few red sticky notes, and yeah, create the different milestones for each of those grants while tagging them with the respective proof that will be associated with that completion. And then after we do this for like, 10, let's say around 10 minutes, we will just review what people have created, find some commonalities and milestones, and discuss how that now can be translated to Karma DAO. Yeah. So anybody having issues joining the Miro board? Okay, I'm a viewer on the Miro board, so I can't copy and paste. Okay, try rejoining with the link I sent in the Google chat. Because you probably joined from the Miro link, which is, yeah, so I think, yeah, if you click that link in the chat, you should be good. Okay, and let me refresh my page here. So, okay. Are you good, Kit? Let me know when it comes up if everything's good. Next. Okay, cool. So actually, let me share my screen too again here in case anybody is not able to see. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna add a timer. Put a timer for 10 minutes. We'll pick some music. Let's go for, we'll go calm flow this time. So for the next 10 minutes, start mapping. You got different grants. You're partaking in to different milestones. If you don't have any upcoming grants, you could maybe put one you've already done in the past, just to highlight how you broke down the milestones for that grant. And just view this as anything you haven't put in Karma Gap yet, or you want to put in the next in upcoming weeks and months, this is a chance to kind of start that process. Just to show what that looks like for anybody who's maybe we can copy forward. Let's say Greenpill, California. Put it here. Do that. Thanks, 50 Vel, for joining. Talk soon. See you, Jenna. I just want to quickly, the hashtag gotta go. Yeah, nothing. There's nothing more needed and to say. I don't know if anybody has any last questions, but yeah, definitely. And any questions I have, I'll just be in touch. Soon.
Super. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Ash.
Thanks, Ash.
Okay. Oh.
Thank you and take care.
See you, Antonio. Okay. All right. Just got to wrap up any last notes you are writing. And we could have reviewed a few of these. Cool. And once you finish, anybody that would like to share what they created? I think I'll pick on someone.
I'm volunteering.
Cool.
Pick on me. All right. So Greenpill Writers Guild. So far, we've only applied for one grant, which was the Regen Coordination round that happened a couple months ago. I've officially lost track of time. And then for that, the two things that we promised were the Greenpill newsletter and updating the onboarding guide, the Regen/Greenpill onboarding guide. And then the other bullet to the left here is we mentioned the on-chain impact networks, and I actually had a question. So at the time, we didn't know that we were gonna write the on-chain capital allocation handbook V2, the Explorers edition. So I'm curious if you have any thoughts as to, if we would wedge that within this one or kind of keep it in the holster and save it for a future grant. My assumption would be for a future grant.
Yeah, yes, I think it's kind of a case by case basis, so it's not like a one rule fits all. But I think in this case that it would be separate, because especially if this is a QF round, so I guess it's not meant to be retroactive all the time. It's meant to.
Yeah, my assumption would be to keep it in the holster just because, might as well actually try and get some funding for it in the future.
Yeah, the funding part's interesting because I guess with the book, because once you've written the book, like, I guess like, I don't know, but with books, because it's not like you don't really iterate like it's a product, like software.
Yeah. Well, there is a Telegram group that's like kind of its own little community. So I guess taking part in that and then actually disseminating the book and maybe even doing some talks for it could be future stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That makes a ton of sense. Yeah. So like kind of getting funds to grow the book and grow sales and. Yeah.
But I agree with you for Karmagat milestones. I don't think it makes sense to wedge it into this previous grant. So so that would be for the Regen Coordination. And then the next grant, which I gotta apply for today/tomorrow. Actually, so a bunch of people did mention the Octane Community Fund. I saw they threw out a tweet that the official deadline is 12 p.m. the 23rd Eastern time, EST. So just a heads up there.
Okay.
So the Writers Guild, we're going to apply for the marketing side of that grant. And just off the top of my head today, I think the main thing will be creating content that will add to the Greenpill network, Charmverse. There's a Regen ecosystem folder, which is kind of like a library that we're hoping to slowly build out. And then, I think the main thing beyond that is the dissemination of it across the different channels. So similar to what we were talking about with the book and having its own little Telegram group, there is the Greenpill Octane Telegram channel. So can kind of just continue to post updates and resources in there, and then also disseminate it across Warpcast and the Greenpill Education Pod and RETH Finance and any other community that we're trying to turn into regens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. Disseminate. Cool. I'm curious about any IRL stuff. Not like this grant, but like that the Writers Guild could potentially do.
IRL, probably not, just because I don't think any two individuals are even in the same country/state. But I could see it kind of merging with Greenpill New York City stuff, and sharing it with other Greenpill chapters and other communities as well.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, let's move on to let's go on to Design Guild. Yeah, let's go on to Design Guild.
That was me, and well, the Design Guild doesn't exist, but it's been discussed, and so I copied Aphel's work from the Dev Guild and modified it for potential future funding, and so I imagine some upcoming funding here, and then here there could be some sort of cross funding, and I was imagining that the network, on the network level, some funding comes in to help evolve the network, and that gets distributed into different guilds and or chapters or something. So I just kind of invented that when I was thinking about it, and then there's a future funding here.
Mm-hmm.
And milestones in the early days would be to set up some kind of a design space where which platform is a question, probably a sub-channel on Discord or something, but eventually there could also be a Charmverse, and if the Design Guild continues to grow, then it could develop more of its own infrastructure the way the Writers Guild has done and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't specify what that space is, but it could be multi-platform, and then it could be a useful thing to have examples that people, users, designers can look at of existing work that have been collected into a kind of library, and those might be Greenpill design projects or related projects from ReFi or VDAO or something, but something that gives people a context for the work. And then once work actually happens, then it would be good to build out a repository of brand assets, which other people can come in and copy for use in their own media or promotions and things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's as far as I got in the allotted time.
Nice. No, this is good. And feel free to continue adding right now, as I'll go somewhere else, so you could feel free to edit more. All right, we got Greenpill. Let's go Greenpill Brazil. Then we'll go Nigeria. So then Greenpill Brazil has a couple. Cole, you want to just pick like 2 or 3 to highlight?
Yes, I can do that. Hello, everyone. Basically, we still have some grants we need to put here, but these ones are the main ones. For the climate cello, I think I will choose this one. We commit to mint hypercerts on this EBF framework, like the pilot they were proposing, so we did. We were learning how to use the platform. The idea was to mint a bunch and make the update, but we created, I think, just a few. And when I was updating, this update completed this milestone, learning process, okay? But we also committed to join their governance on their platform and participate on the forum. We also commit to create our light nodes to start to experiment with their blockchain, and we have plans to do an event in December 10. So we will talk about these light nodes that we are creating, and we also gonna talk about our report about refi on Latin America. So that's the idea. For the CCN, we are already doing some biodiversity restoration projects, and we are doing this with our own efforts, like from our members, and we also have the support we are doing for grassroots communities. So this will be what we are expecting to do, and we also do some events, and we create some workshops, and we like bring the discussion about the climate about in many spaces. So this is what we are thinking for now. I want to thank you guys for bringing this walkthrough to Karma Gap. Was a real good thing, a real discovery.
Thanks, yeah. Thanks, and thanks. Yeah, you helped plan it, so glad we were able to do it.
I just was there this time.
Yeah, but like, yeah, this really is the goal. I think, yeah, and I can see you got like 5 here, so yeah, you'll be able to, translate this to the Karma Gap. All right, let's finish off.
We didn't. The ones we just put on the Karma Gap is the climate, and the CCN we have only. We still need to add some more here on the middle board, but the other ones we have this set it, but we didn't update it in there.
Okay, got it.
We will do from.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm glad this helped. All right, let's finish with Nigeria. So let's see. Okay, yeah. Which ones do you guys want to highlight? I think Nanso's doing some stuff here, and Amil.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really followed up on what Greenpill Nigeria has been up to, but I just thought of it and I just decided to put a couple. Really, it's just basically some of the amazing projects I've seen that came out of Nigeria that, I mean, most times easy would talk about, and I just thought of putting them up. I happen to share a couple of space with Mission Protocol on in GG20 or GG19. So really, everything I'm just trying to just partake in the program, but not really like specifically everything written here is exactly how it is. But kind of like off from my head, I know Greenpill Nigeria was some of this round, and looking at some of them will definitely be funding some of the amazing projects on that Greenpill Nigeria. But yeah, just from here on, we'll look to definitely know what more Greenpill Nigeria is up to, and maybe next time we'll have solid milestones that I can put up here. But yeah, those are just the raw idea I have behind this.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, let's go live, co-hosting. Yeah, that makes sense. And was that the only one you added?
Oh, okay. Apple. Yeah, Jim.
Yeah.
Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yep.
Okay, okay. You know, I wasn't with my PC then, so when I got to my PC, the time was almost late, so I couldn't add to what we have done with Greenpill Nigeria. So that was it. But if I'm to have the time to go through the Miro board, so we have done many things. Then we have participated in the region coordination round, and then after that, the milestone we are Nigeria retro, that is Nigeria citizen retro round that we conducted it was last month, and then also the project with TAS and the metering protocol, and then also the Twitter spaces with other public goods communities like pronouns and co. So there are many, but I'm not in a position to remember all now because I didn't document it before now. So that is it.
Nice. Yeah, and feel free to add more. Yeah, feel free to use this as your canvas to add all your milestones, and then you can translate it over. But that's great. Yeah, I'm really great to see everybody finding some utility in this exercise. So let's actually go ahead and wrap things up. It's been a really, I think, productive workshop. Appreciate everybody for taking the time to join. Just going to close with some final action items. So let me stop sharing and let's end the activity. And I'm going to share my screen, my normal screen. So now where we're at. Hope you guys can also see my screen. So we went through the workshop. So yeah, wanted to have some time for technical support. I think given we're at 9:40, we could use the last 15 minutes after formally ending the call for anybody that does need support or has more questions on Karma Gap. Having spent last month adding a bunch of grants and milestones, I'm very comfortable with the platform now, so wouldn't mind helping anybody who needs support. And then also we have some resources listed here below that will help you around Karma Gap. If you want to collect the Greenpill Pod NFT that they did for the podcast episode, that's also linked here. So just look up some resources to help you continue learning how to use Karma Gap to the best of its abilities. And yeah, that's it. Thank you everybody for joining.
Okay, I have one last request.
Yeah.
Okay, I could have asked this before, but I don't know if we can get the deck from Mahesh, the workshop slides.
All the slides, yes, the slides. So at the top.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Are we gonna have co-ops today?
Yes, there's a POAP. It's Mint Links. Matt will be DMing / emailing everyone. Yeah.
Cool.
So there will definitely be a POAP. And I think we
Good
have
improvements.
Say that again?
Good improvements. We are evolving.
Oh yeah, no, this was a smooth workshop for sure. So yeah, I think we have a community call coming up in 15. So if anybody wants to hop in there, we'll continue to chat more. But yeah, gonna end the call. Actually, there's no recording to end. It's just read AI.
Cheers.
So yeah, I'll go for it. We say call.
Said have a good day, guys.
Okay. Cheers. All right, everybody. See everybody.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers.